host, Mitchell J. Rabin, and I'm very glad you're joining us again today. Today, we are very pleased to have with us the author of this book, The Bond, by Lynne McTaggart, who is an award-winning journalist and best-selling author of books that have really taken the world by storm, The Field and The Intention Experiment, to name actually just a few. Her career really goes back far before that with other related work. And Lynne has really been a driving force, a pioneer in helping us reshape our thinking about what is possible and who we are. And that's a lot of what this book is about, to redefine who we as human beings are, and largely from a scientific point of view. So it's really an honor and a pleasure to have Lynne on today on A Better World to talk about really some of our favorite subjects, how to humanize the world and make it a better place for all, and to have a profound basis, not only in our inner understanding and natural intuition, but even having that bared out by today's latest science. So, hey Lynne, how are you?
Hey, nice to see you, Mitchell.
So glad to have you.
Great.
So, again, I mean, since I've seen you last and we've had you on the show, you've like taken another major leap forward in gathering information and science that really, I gotta tell you, Lynne, I love the first couple of books. This takes us, in a sense, to another place of creating, I feel, a bond between us, a sense of community, and it can be really instrumental in helping people take that leap that they know is sort of there for them to take, to create a world that really works for all, based not just on competition, fun competition, i.e. Olympic competition, but on cooperation.
Yes.
There can be, I think, cooperation inside, if you will, of competition.
Right, exactly. Well,
could you talk about some of the basic points that you make in this book so we can share that with the audience?
Sure. Well, I wanted to ask the basic question, were we meant to be so competitive? Because competition is the engine that drives our lives. We have a very competitive educational system and model. We create competition as the driving force of our business model. Competition occurs in relationships and even in our neighborhoods. We get jealous and furious if we find a neighbor drives a Mercedes when we drive a Volvo. So competition just is the mantra of our lives. Both are good. But so I wanted to ask this fundamental question: is this the scientific story we're supposed to live by? Is this real? Is this true? Yeah. And so it takes us back to where our story comes from. The narrative of our lives is written by many things: philosophy, religion, etc., but particularly these days by science. And the scientific story.
Right, well, science is sort of our current religion, if you will.
Yes, exactly, Mitchell. And, the scientific story as we know it is about individual things, first of all, and individualism as a principle.
Yes.
And that really came about through the ideas of Isaac Newton, who described a world of separate and well-behaved things. And then Charles Darwin.
Well-behaved.
Well-behaved.
To some extent, well-behaved.
I do. Well, they followed very fixed laws in time and space, and that's why he considered the universe, essentially a machine, and
That's
essentially, equivalent to a lot of different equations.
Yeah.
So then Charles Darwin comes along, and he defines our evolution, our coming into being, as a struggle and as a competition.
Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest.
Which isn't even a point you made the other evening.
Exactly. He never actually coined that term. He thought of struggle as much more metaphoric struggle, but nevertheless, he saw it as the fittest survives, at least earlier on in his career. And so that became, the new mantra, the idea that, that life is a race to the finish line, and there ain't enough out there, so you better darn well get there
It's a mentality of scarcity, exactly.
Yes, and that is
it's a
pervaded.
Poverty mentality kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, not enough, and the fittest, only the fastest runners survive. So that's been essentially the mantra that we live by. So I went back to all of the new frontier science and said, is this the right story? And the resounding answer is no. The story that's emerging through quantum physics and biology and psychology and anthropology and sociology and all the ologies is that we were actually made to be cooperative.